Do you remember this candy that was so fruity it hit you over the head with its juicy fruitiness? Have you ever had potato chips made from potato skins? How about a Hostess cake that made you think you went off to chocolate heaven? For us Gen Xers, there are so many forgotten, or should we say, unforgettable snacks we miss so much. Seeing them again will bring back so many memories. It's the 80s calling, and we want them back! Be sure to stick around for the last one because the taste was quintessentially 80s, but we bet you've never known it existed. Nabisco Bonkers Fruit Candy. Do you recall what it's like to eat Starburst candy? It has a satisfying chew that lasts only 30 seconds. Nabisco introduced Bonkers in 1985. It had a chewy exterior like Starburst, but when you got to the middle, you got a burst of fruity flavor that bursts in your mouth. It's quite the surprise that bonks you out. With their dual layers of fruitiness, these candies were a favorite treat for many. They came in 6 pieces per package and were available in 5 flavors: grape, orange, watermelon, strawberry, and chocolate. People in the commercials got pummeled over the head and laughed hysterically at how fruity Bonkers were. Unfortunately, the Bonkers craze ended in the early 90s. Leaf Brands acquired the rights to reintroduce Bonkers fruit chews in 2012, and in 2015 they announced they were bringing it back. Sadly, it was all an empty promise and never returned. Perhaps you can join the other 7,400 people on Facebook to encourage them to bring back the beloved candy.
Bonkers. Bonks you out.
Some candy.
Keebler Tato Skins. We bet if you say it enough times, it will make you sound like an Irish person or a Keebler elf. Keebler Tato Skins were introduced in 1985. They were probably unlike any potato chip you've ever had before. They marketed potato chips from the potato skins, which were the darker side, and the underside of the potato, which was the lighter side. They were thick, crispy chips derived from potatoes and had a hearty potato flavor. They came in flavors like cheese, bacon, sour cream, and onion. The taste was rich and savory with the perfect balance of seasoning, making them a satisfying snack. Unfortunately, they were discontinued in 2000 as the rights were sold to Poor Foods.
Baked potato appeal.
Hostess Choco-Bliss. If you are allergic to chocolate, you better steer clear of this one because, as the packaging says, it's a chocolate lover's dream. Hostess Choco-Bliss, introduced in 1986, was a decadent chocolate cake with layers of devil's food cake, chocolate cream, and icing. The taste was intensely chocolatey, with not just one layer of sweetness, but 2 layers. You can split them in 2 and eat 1 layer at a time, or share them. If you can't help yourself, just eat them as intended and shove them into your mouth. The texture was soft and moist, with a creamy filling and a smooth coating. However, the chocolate dream was over and discontinued in the early 1990s.
New Choco-Bliss from Hostess. Watch out!
Betty Crocker Fruit Wrinkles. Did you enjoy eating these little wrinkly fruit snacks? Did their shape remind you of raisins, but with different flavors? Betty Crocker Fruit Wrinkles were introduced in 1986 as an extension of Fruit Corners Fruit Roll-Up and Fruit Bars. They were also made to compete with sugar-laden sun-kissed fun fruits. Like potato chips, you couldn't just have one. You probably ate the whole packet. Your mom wouldn't mind because they were made with real fruit. They were intensely fruity with a hint of sweetness and so satisfying to chew, making them a fun snack. They were available in cherry, lemon, orange, and strawberry. Unfortunately, sales were not strong enough to continue into the 90s, and they were discontinued in 1990.
Fruit Wrinkles, from the makers of Fruit Roll-Ups and Fruit Bars.
Pepperidge Farm Star Wars Cookies. In the 80s, there was no place you could escape the merchandising blitz of Star Wars. It was everywhere you went. From the shopping mall to the supermarket, all you saw was Star Wars stuff, and you loved it. The supermarket aisle had Star Wars cookies from Pepperidge Farm, and they were introduced in 1983 to coincide with the release of Return of the Jedi. They featured cookies inspired by the original Star Wars trilogy, from Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, and Darth Vader to even lesser-known characters like Wicket the Ewok, Max Rebo, and Bib Fortuna. There were 15 different characters. These cookies had a rich, buttery flavor and a crisp texture that you'd expect from a Pepperidge Farm cookie. There were 3 flavors to choose from. The Imperial box was chocolate, vanilla was the Rebel Alliance 1, and peanut butter was Rebel Alliance 2. The enduring love for Star Wars drove the popularity of these cookies. Unfortunately, they were discontinued by the mid-1980s. Today, as with anything vintage from Star Wars, these boxes are collector's items. This is what decades-old Star Wars cookies look like. If you want to read about the person who ate these cookies and his experience, we'll link it in the top right corner.
Star Wars cookies from Pepperidge Farm. The new taste in space.
General Mills Ice Cream Cones Cereal. When you were a kid, did you love ice cream so much that you couldn't wait till the ice cream truck came around at the playground in the afternoon? It may not have been actual ice cream, but General Mills had a cereal that reminded you of ice cream cones. General Mills Ice Cream Cone cereal was introduced in 1987, featuring sugary corn/wheat cone-shaped pieces that looked like waffle cones and balls that looked like scoops of ice cream. Add them together and they will look like ice cream cones. Their commercials featured a cartoon animated man named Ice Cream Jones who came around your neighborhood to deliver ice cream cone cereal like vanilla, chocolate, and chocolate chip. Each bite was a delightful mix of sweet, crunchy, and marshmallow textures. Its unique concept and delicious taste made it a favorite. However, the fun only lasted a year and was discontinued. Kids wanted the cereal, but their parents didn't buy them. It returned in 2003 as a promotion for the 100th anniversary of the invention of the ice cream cone.
Cheers, my name's Ice Cream Jones. I'll bring the great new taste of ice cream cones. New ice cream cone cereal.
McDonald's Cheddar Melt. When McDonald's offers something you think won't be successful, like McSpaghetti or the Arch Burger, it's easy to see why it won't be a hit. But when they offer something that doesn't have any hard-to-get ingredients, you'd think it should be a hit. McDonald's introduced the Cheddar Melt in 1987. It was a quarter-pound beef patty topped with cheddar cheese sauce and grilled onions on a rye bun. The Cheddar Melt was rich and savory, especially with the sharp cheddar cheese oozing over the patty. The caramelized onions added depth to the flavor. It only lasted through the end of the 80s. It was revived in 2004 and 2014. You never know. Much like the McRib, the Cheddar Melt could return for a limited time. Meanwhile, you can join this Facebook group to implore McDonald's to bring back the Cheddar Melt.
McDonald's Cheddar Melt.
Topps Bubblegum Juice Cartons. If you loved juice boxes as a kid, how about in bubblegum form? Topps Bubblegum Juice Cartons introduced bubblegum juice cartons in 1982. Could you imagine chewing bubblegum that tastes like juicy fruit? They were available in grape, orange, apple, and even pink lemonade. Of course, they were artificially flavored, but that didn't stop the fun and whimsical packaging with fruits with happy faces enticing us to buy them. Who didn't enjoy opening these tiny cartons and pouring some rock-shaped candy? You chewed these rock-hard nuggets, and soon it turned into gum. The flavor didn't last long, and you poured more into your mouth. Before you knew it, it was all gone. That was the fun of bubblegum juice cartons. By the mid-80s, it was discontinued. Post Smurf Berry Crunch cereal. What could get you out of bed and singing the tune of your favorite woodland creatures on a Saturday morning? How about a bowl of colorful Smurf Berry Crunch cereal that brought the magic of a beloved cartoon to life? Post introduced the beloved cereal in 1983. The cereal featured colorful, berry-flavored corn, wheat, and oat pieces that made you think the berries were picked straight from the bushes of Smurf Forest. The taste was a delightful mix of sweet, fruity, and crunchy. Of course, what cartoon cereal didn't have prizes inside? You could collect buttons, stickers, and rub-ons, making breakfast fun for kids. If you ate enough of the blue dye berries, let's just say it'll turn your business in the bathroom blue. Post replaced this mishap with orange and yellow dye and revamped the cereal as Smurf Magic Berries cereal in 1987, including marshmallows. As the Smurfs were canceled, so were the cereal in 1990. If you would like to see a comeback, join this petition.
Only thing I love more than a good joke is delicious Smurf Berry Crunch cereal. A very Smurfy part of this nutritious breakfast.
Downy Flake Care Bears Waffles. If you enjoyed eating waffles for breakfast as a kid, you could choose between the round Eggo waffles or how about Downy Flake Square Care Bears waffles? Downy Flake introduced these waffles in 1985 as a tie-in at the height of the animated cartoon series. These waffles looked like any waffle you'd expect, except they were sprinkled with strawberry and blueberry flecks. The texture was crisp on the outside and fluffy on the inside, making each bite like a warm hug from your favorite Care Bear. They were a hit due to their playful design and connection to a beloved toy line. Unfortunately, as the Care Bears faded from Saturday mornings, so did the toy line and the waffles we came to enjoy. They were discontinued in the late 1980s, making them a unique part of 80s childhood.
Wake up with new Care Bear waffles.
Part of a nutritious breakfast.
Let the bell in every bite. All right.
Good humor Mickey's Parade Ice Pops. Do you remember starting your day with Disney's Good Morning Mickey, which ran from 1983 to 1992? You were firmly entrenched in Disney and knew all the classic Disney characters like Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy, dreaming of the day you got to go to Disneyland. After playing at the playground, you see the ice cream truck come by and get yourself a Good Humor Mickey's Parade Ice Pop. These colorful ice pops were shaped like the Disney characters you knew and loved. They came 12 in a box. Mickey Mouse was cherry, Donald Duck was grape, and Minnie Mouse was orange. Goofy was also available, but we're unsure what flavor he was. These sweet, icy treats were perfect for cooling down on a hot summer day. At some point, new Paradise flavors were introduced, including tropical fruit, Paradise Punch, and lemon lime. What kid wouldn't go for that? However, they were discontinued in the late 1990s, and summers were never the same. If you want them back, you can join this Facebook group with over 2,700 people.
It's raining sprinkles. It's Mickey's Parade. Mickey's Parade. Mickey's Parade is here.
Kellogg's Banana Frosted Flakes. Imagine starting your day with a bowl of Frosted Flakes with the added sweetness and flavor of bananas. That would sound nice, but you don't have any bananas. Tony the Tiger might tell you not to worry because you can have Kellogg's Banana Frosted Flakes without buying bananas. Introduced in 1981, it offered a fruity twist on the classic sugar Frosted Flakes, appealing to kids who loved the combination of aromatic bananas with their Frosted Flakes. Real bits of banana stuck to the flakes made this sweet and crunchy combination a favorite among kids and adults. However, Banana Frosted Flakes only had a 3-year run as it was discontinued in 1984. Kellogg's decided to focus on their better-known cereals, Rice Krispies and Frosted Flakes, which they dropped the word sugar from the name in 1983. If you want bananas in your cereal, just remember to pick up some at the market.
It's Kellogg's Banana.
New banana.
Frosted Flakes.
Hubba Bubba Bubblegum Soda. Do you remember being a kid blowing huge wads of Hubba Bubba bubblegum, making it as big as possible until it popped? What if we told you there was a soda that tasted like bubblegum? Hubba Bubba Bubblegum Soda was introduced in 1988. Believe it or not, the soda was not created by Wrigley's, the company that makes Hubba Bubba Bubblegum. The soda was created by Steve Roeder, who used bubblegum snow cone syrup and mixed it with club soda until he got the taste just right. He then went to Wrigley's and got the license to use the Hubba Bubba name and the rights to produce the soda. It was primarily found in Toys R Us in the Midwest. There was even a diet version. It was a novelty drink that didn't last long as it was discontinued in the early 90s. Could you imagine the taste of bubblegum as a soda? We bet it was some treat. If you had the pleasure of trying this soda, perhaps someone can let us know in the comments. There you have it. Are there any snacks from the 80s you want back? If you enjoyed this video, watch some more. Here are 10 unforgettable snacks from the 80s.